Hey guys, welcome to another shorter video just answering the question, why does my game look so good? If you just want the short answer, you can download something called reshade.me, install the program to Dead by Daylight, install all the filters, and go ahead and activate the ones that I'll put on screen now. You can tweak them to your liking and you'll basically have the exact same, quality as me, or at least have access to the same quality that I do. For everybody else that kind of wants an actual tutorial on how to do it, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install Reshade, what to select when installing Reshade, and how to make sure it attaches to Dead by Daylight. And then I'll show you how I configured it and what I recommend doing and changing in the program to basically have the same settings that I do. With that being said, don't forget to like if you like, subscribe if you like me, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so you're going to want to go to reshade.me. And you can click this download link, but it's just going to pull you to the bottom, so you can just scroll here anyway. And it's going to ask you to download the newest version. For me, that's 4.7 right now. And it's going to start this download, the .exe. You can go ahead and run that. Once this window opens, you're going to want to click to manage your game for Reshade or whatever. Now, every time I've helped any of my friends do this, they always try to click this. Do not click easy anti-cheat, because sometimes that comes up before Dead by Daylight comes up and you just see the symbol and click it. You do not want easy anti-cheat launcher, you want Dead by Daylight Win64 shipping. Okay, so you click that, you select the application, and then you're gonna come to this window where it's basically asking like what version I guess you want to use, or what API, I don't know, but I use Direct3D 10, 11, 12. I'm pretty sure it's just like the update or whatever. Now the page that it's going to give you is just basically a list of all the different types of filters and tweaks that you can make. And what I tell everybody literally is just to click uncheck all and then check all. For every one of these pages, there's going to be a bunch of pages. Reason why is because sometimes different effects, you might want to use something different. You might want, whatever. It doesn't seem to take up any more power if you're not running the filters directly. Like just having them as an option doesn't seem to really use any more resources. So I always uncheck and then check all, and then okay. Another page, they're all already checked, so okay. They're all already checked. And I do this for a couple of pages. That's all the pages? That's no way that's all the pages. Oh, yeah, see. So you're gonna get this a bunch of times. You can literally just keep clicking okay. As long as they're all checked. As long as you want all of them. Maybe you only want like Sharpen, and if you want to find it like on the list, I mean, go for it. But typically, you can just keep accepting all the filters. I know there's a lot of them. Okay, here's one that I don't have them all checked. Okay, you may now close the setup tool because it's done. That's literally all it took. So now Reshade has been installed. And what we can do now is launch Dead by Daylight. Alright guys, so when your game first launches, like you saw in the upper left hand corner maybe for a second, and you're seeing at the top now, if Reshade was successful, it's going to appear on your screen and it's going to say to press the home key to activate the window. For me, I changed the key to the asterisk on my number pad, but we'll get into that in just a second. Something you might want to know is that all the overlays for Reshade, including this one here, again, you're going to have to press home key. I pressed the asterisk key. All these overlays can be shown in Discord streaming calls, on Twitch, in game recordings. If you're actually capturing the application, you do not have to capture the window, or I'm sorry, you don't have to capture your display in order to capture that. It's just part of the game. So if you want to show your friends anything that you're trying to do in that, it's just something maybe to know that might be helpful. Anyway, I don't want to waste a whole lot of time saying something like that. So we're going to go into a custom game lobby. I'm going to go ahead and turn the filters off real quick. And we're going to switch to Doctor. Doctor has a very, a face with a lot of lines on it, a lot of detail. So we're going to go ahead and use him as an example. So before we talk about the filters, I want to say a couple things. First of all, if you want to change your keybind to open this window, it's in the settings screen. There's other keybinds you can make in here, but that's really the only one that I use, at least so far. The other thing is when you first launch it and you're first using it, the default preset's gonna be the first one, and you can add filters to the screen, but I don't recommend it. I recommend leaving this one completely empty, going up to this, add a new preset and make a new name and hit enter, and it will change to a new filter. In my case, I name my filter main. And the reason I do this is so that as I make changes, I can go ahead and toggle it back and forth to see basically the difference. I can see the difference between the two filters. So maybe you don't care about that, but it is nice to have a normal example. And sometimes maybe you don't want to see the filters anymore. I don't know. But anyway, these are the 4 filters I recommend running. You can search any of these with a search bar, and once they're selected, you can click move active to top. For example, if I click this, you'll notice that it is not at the top yet. If I click move active to top, it gets moved to the top. Adaptive Sharpen is the most important filter in my opinion. It handles the detail of things. It almost feels like you're putting on glasses. Default, it's on 1.0, which by the way, this window down here is how you fine tune these filters. This is a different filter. Oops, this is a different filter, this is a different filter, this is a different filter. I'm not worried about those. Here's adaptive sharpening right here. Default, it's 1.0. You could turn all the way up to 2.0. In my opinion, that's like super grainy looking, especially in game. The lobby's not too bad, but in like some matches, it just looks too grainy. But check out the difference here. It literally looks like you're putting glasses on. It's so much better. It's actually so much better. Anyway, I keep it around 1.0. If you have trouble landing on a certain number, you can use these arrow keys to go back and forth, and you can hold it to scroll much faster. Anyway, let's go back to 1.0. That's adaptive sharpen. The second one I use is prod 80, the contrast, brightness, and saturation one. If you search prod, I'm assuming it's like production or something, you get all these different filters. I never really tampered with any of them except for contrast, brightness, and saturation, but maybe that's something you want to mess with. This is the filter though that I have the most tweaking on. I made the most changes, so I'll go ahead and show you that now. I'm going to minimize clarity. I didn't change clarity at all. I didn't change Technicolor at all. I did though change this contrast brightness one. Something I want to mention is that tricolor counteracts some of my settings in the contrast filter, in this filter here. So if you want to run my specifications exactly, you do need Technicolor to kind of combat some of my settings. But as you can see here, let me minimize that. There's a lot of settings in this filter, and basically the only ones I changed are in this final adjustments section, and basically everything's just turned up a tiny bit. You can literally look at these and apply these. That would literally be everything that I've changed so far. Something I do, a couple of things actually that I want to note is number 1, Reshade is whitelisted with EAC, and what that means is Easy Anti-Cheat, the software behavior uses to detect and ban cheaters, basically has recognized Reshade as an acceptable program that is not, associated with cheating, which means it will not ban you for using Reshade. The second thing, the second sort of disclosure, is that I've heard that my monitor might be oversaturated. This is kind of a new monitor setup that I have now, and I'm still tweaking some of my monitor settings. So my screen might appear slightly undersaturated to you. I've heard that when people come into my stream sometimes. I'm working on that, but I'm just saying that because my settings on screen might look bad for your screen as far as saturation and brightness and things like that go. Because of that, and because my filters aren't the same as every other DBD content creator or even Reshade user, I'm gonna also link Dowsy's Reshade video in the description below. I don't know that I've seen anybody else make one, but I would assume other people have their settings posted somewhere. So I'll post what I find in the description below, just so that you have a few more things to choose from if you need other options. Other than that, one more thing that I recommend is once you have tweaked this to how you think you like it, keep in mind that the lobby right now is incredibly orange. It's so orange, and I recommend going into like Red Forest map or Lambkin Lane or something, a map that doesn't really have a lot of tint to it. Like if you go to Auto Haven, you're gonna get a green tint. If you go to Macmillan, you're gonna get a blue tint. And if you go to Coldwind, you're gonna get a yellow tint. So I recommend going to a map that has kind of a, you know, a normal kind of map color when you tweak the things like exposure, tint, brightness, contrast, saturation, vibrance. When you tweak those things, I would recommend going to a map that you can kind of see the difference on, because otherwise you might go to Coldwind and make it kind of a cooler tint to combat the yellow, and then you'll load into Macmillan, and since your tint is a little bluer to combat the yellow, Macmillan's gonna be super fucking blue. So just a little thing that you might want to keep in mind. Anyway, if I forgot anything or if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments section below. I'll answer, you know, reasonable questions. Other than that, you can come into my Discord, linked in the description below as well. We always answer questions there as fast as we can about different things that I'm running or what we recommend or how we can help with whatever problem you might have. It's a super active Discord server, so you're welcome to join. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good night.